What's up guys, welcome to the second chapter of my road to lowest level legends completion. We're jumping straight into the action here, starting Malin's Crystal by speaking to King Arthur, who seems to like hanging out behind Camelot Castle here at the edge of the world. So in the last episode we completed Fight Arena, did the bar crawl mini quest, completed Grand Tree, and after some rope related difficulties we managed to finish the Waterfall quest, which is where we left off. If you've stumbled on this video and haven't seen the first episode, you should go check it out now. What I'm doing will make a lot more sense that way. I'll leave a link in the description. The next quest on the list, which affects our combat stats, is the Holy Grail, for which we have to complete the Malin's Crystal quest first. So here I'm just using my main to distract Arheen so we can stow away on his boat and move down the coast to the stronghold. I was kind of caught out by this Black Knight because I wasn't expecting him to be waiting on the balcony, but we got past safely. Quite like Morgan Le Fay's taste in carpets. I'm really digging this aubergine colour. It's quite plushly decorated for what's supposed to be a stronghold. But anyway, we're just making our way up to the top so that we can fight Sir Mordred. So we got upstairs and started the fight. You'll notice that there's 4 Sir Mordreds up here, which is pretty standard for RSC. For some reason there's a bug that means that NPCs can get duplicated quite a lot. Some of you eagle-eye viewers might have noticed in the previous video, during the Grand Tree quest, at some point there are at least 2 of King Narnod Shireen. Eventually, after casting a lot of firebolts, we defeated Sir Mordred. Then of course 2 of Morgan Le Fay appeared, because this is RuneScape Classic. I accidentally clicked out of the conversation, which I was pissed about, but then something strange happened. What on earth is going on with this game? I put a replay in here because you'll notice that the 2 Morgan Le Fays that spawned are actually this double Morgan Le Fay. She seems to have superpowers. She can walk through walls, and I usually speed these clips up, but this is played at 1x speed. She can move faster than the player or any other NPCs can. It's like she's unlocked the run option in Classic. Anyway, when it became clear we weren't going to be able to speak to Morgan through the wall, I decided that we'll just have to fight Sir Mordred again. So I went through the whole process of casting firebolts at him, keep my prayer up nice and high again, then accidentally clicked out of this conversation again, had to fight him for a 3rd time. I ended up firing a few firebolts at the wrong Sir Mordred here. I think there's about 6 of them now. Eventually we got into conversation with Morgan Le Fay. She told us where we can find Excalibur and where we can find the magic words, so we got the hell out of there and got on with the quest. First order of business was to get hold of the black candle, so I'm taking the insect repellent to the beehives, to get a bucket full of wax, taking it to this candle guy who will give me the black candle. Next thing is we have to go see the Lady of the Lake, past this head thing, which will later be featured in the Holy Grail quest. Went to see the beggar, gave him some bread, turned out to be the Lady of the Lake and she gave us Excalibur. Next thing to do is to go up to the wilderness, to the Chaos Altar, so we can read the inscription or whatever it is and get the incantation we need to defeat the demon. So I went to Varrock Church, got some prayer points so I can pray against these rats, got through them, and now I headed up to the Chaos Altar. I'm thinking of dropping the whole RSC Revisited name for the series and the episode numbers, because I kind of started that series a few years ago and then got 2 episodes out, and now we're kind of doing something completely different, so it seems a bit pointless having RSC Revisited episode 4, Lowest Level Legends episode 2. Why don't I just drop that, you know? Anyway, now we're fighting the demon. We've got to choose the right magic words that we read from the Chaos Altar. It's the middle one. Thankfully we got them right, and he disappears. The only thing left to do is to go back into the castle, go upstairs, use the Excalibur on the crystal that Malin stuck in, set him free. He's very grateful. Head back out round the back of the castle to the edge of the world on the White Cliffs to speak to the king. He's very happy. He knights us and we get the quest reward, which is a massive 6 quest points. I think that's the most you can get from any one quest. So that definitely helps us towards our goal for Dragon Slayer, which we will look at later in the episode. Okay, on to the next quest. Then we headed back to King Arthur to start the Holy Grail quest. So he's telling us a whole bunch of stuff, which I've sped up. I've got to go upstairs and speak to Merlin, so we're shuffling back into the castle and into the library where Merlin now resides. He tells us to go and speak to Sir Galahad. I've always been interested in this painting on the wall, so I decided to zoom in and take a look at it, because it looks quite a bit more detailed than the rest of the game. But when you actually get up close, you can see that King Arthur's got eyeballs in his forehead. Anyway, the next thing that we had to do is to go to Entrana and speak to the dude there about the Fisher King. So here's us getting the boat onto Entrana into this lovely church that's got these nice windows with the Saraswords in that I talked about in the last episode. The crone interrupts us, starts talking, but then she literally just cuts off the conversation after you ask a question. Thought it was one of those glitches, but turns out to be okay. We went to get the napkin from Sir Galahad. Next thing to do is we had to go and get the whistles. Need a couple of whistles because you need to give one to Sir Percival. These are in Draenor Manor up by the Ernest the Chicken quest. Got hold of those, and then we could head into the Fisher King area realm thing. Here we are flying past Brimhaven. I've drank a poison antidote so these poison scorpions won't harm me. Teleport with the whistle from the platform into the Fisher King realm and got to fight in the Black Knight Titan. So this is a relatively easy fight for us. It didn't seem like there was a time limit because I went at this for quite a while. You're allowed to retreat to drink your prayer pot, get back on him. So here I am fighting him down to low health with a firebolt. Apparently you have to land the final blow with Excalibur, so here I've switched over. Switched to accurate mode and I'm flashing improved reflexes to see if I can land the final hit. Landed a nice 4 damage there. So eventually we beat him. So we go and speak to this Fisher guy down by the water. He tells us that you need to ring the bells to get into the castle. We ring the bells, speak to the Fisher King. He tells us that his son Sir Percival's missing, so we go ask King Arthur about it. King Arthur says that he sent him on a quest, and if we blow the whistle it'll tell us where to go. The whistle points towards the goblin village where Sir Percival has somehow been overpowered by goblins and put into a sack. We give him a whistle, he comes back, becomes the king, we take the Holy Grail, go back to King Arthur with the Holy Grail, and King Arthur gives us the quest reward. So we get 2 quest points, 2 prayer levels, which is good. We trained to 37 to get the Protect prayer, but we need 40 to do Legends, so this is all according to plan. And 5 defense levels, which takes us up to 6 defense. Now we can use steel armor, which I suppose will help a little bit. The quest gave the exact amount of defense experience that we expected, so this is all good. We're all on track. We're up to 25 combat, and it is time to move on to the next quest. So the next quest on our list that affects our combat stats and is kind of sensitive to the order in which we do it is Dragon Slayer. At the moment we have 16 quest points, and we need 32 to start it, so we're going to have to go do some other stuff. So in order to sort of finish out the prayer, the only other quest that gives a reward in prayer is Restless Ghost, so that's what we're going to go do. So the ghost asks us to go get his skull back. We head up to the wizard's tower, grab the skull, come back, use the skull on the coffin. The ghost whispers thank you. And we get the quest reward, which is 1 quest point, which will help us, and 1 prayer level. So I'm glad I worked this out right. We've ended up at exactly 40 prayer, with a bit of room to spare in case we bury any bones by accident, which I'm likely to do because I do not trust myself at all. We're still 25 combat, which is good, and we can move on to the next quest. So I decided to get one of the free-to-play quests out the way and do Black Knight's Fortress. So here we are running up there with our cabbage, trying to make our way through to put the cabbage in the cauldron. I got kind of stuck here by the Black Knights, and I had to kill quite a few of them to get through the door. Apparently there is a way to run through there quickly, but I don't know, I had to do combat with them. Anyway, we got through the cabbage into the cauldron, went back and claimed our reward of 2,500 gold and 3 quest points. Next I got Cook's assistant out the way, so here's me trading the milk, flour and egg to get 1 quest point. Next up is Romeo and Juliet, which considering you only have to run around Varrock a few times gives you a lot of quest points for how long it takes, so I decided to get that out the way early and get an easy win. Gone to get the sort of the poison or whatever for Juliet to take. Give Juliet the poison, come back to Romeo. Turns out Juliet wasn't wrong about Romeo being a bit dense sometimes. He's literally like a dumbass. He's like, oh thanks, she's dead, never mind. Anyway, we got 5 quest points for completing that. On to the next quest, which is Witch's Potion. This is a really easy one, similar to Cook's assistant. You just gotta grab a few things, go back, let her know you've got them. You can drink from the cauldron and receive 1 quest point and a bit of magic XP, which won't do any damage for us. We've got magic to 50 to help us through the quests, but we need 56 to complete the quests. Next up is Ernest the Chicken. So as you can probably tell, I'm trying to get some of the easy quests out the way first, where it's more about just running around a bunch of times. There's not too many skill requirements because I haven't done much skilling just yet. So here we are running around getting all the items that we need, heading down into this puzzle. I remember the first time that I did this, when I was really young, it took me absolutely ages to get through the puzzle. But anyway, we completed the quest and gained a further 4 quest points. That brings us up to 32, which means that it's time to take on Dragon Slayer. So here I am in the Champions Guild, talking to the Guildmaster so I can start the quest. He tells me to go and talk to Ozaic about how to get a plate, and I have to kill Elvarg the dragon. Fun fact about RSC is that Elvarg is the only green dragon in the game. The lowest kind of base level of dragon is the blue dragons. So I wanted to kill this imp because I still need the red bead for imp catcher. I have all the others. Anyway, we're into Melzar's maze looking for the first map piece. Got plenty of prayer potions stocked up, ready to firebolt our way through the dungeon. Firebolts tend out to be like my trusty spell. I think death runes are kind of hard to get hold of in Classic, so whereas chaos runes not so much. They're fairly cheap and easy to come by, so it's become kind of my mainstay weapon to get through these quests. It's worked well so far, anyway. I think this is quite a fun dungeon in Classic. There was an old YouTuber, Studies 101, used to make quite a lot of Classic videos, and he did a fun challenge with him and his friend trying to get through here with no equipment. I'm not sure if they're allowed food. I think he's quite a high level. Anyway, just fighting the demon at the end. It should give us the final key, and we'll get through and get the first map piece. Excellent. Okay, on to the next one. The next pieces are kind of easy to get. This one's the riddle that the Oracle gives you. Obviously, I've done this before, so I know what to bring. I also just checked the guide. We just go down into the Dwarven Mine and use the unfired bowl and whatever on the door. Go through, grab the map piece, get a quick bank, and then head over to Port Sarim Jail to find this goblin. I think on the way I bumped it. Yeah, I caught an imp on the way past. Still trying to get that red bead that we need. Anyway, over to Port Sarim Jail. A few trusty firebolts. Grab the map piece with telekinetic grab. I brought the planks with me and the nails and the hammer I need to fix the boat. Bought the Lady Lumbridge, or Lumbridge Lady I think it's called in Classic. Repaired her. Went down to Ned. Ned agreed to pilot the boat. You say pilot? Well, he's going to be the captain of my ship, take me over to Crandor. Walk over to Crandor. Ned somehow got there ahead of us and agreed to take us to the island. So we set sail. Ned crashes into the island like a genius. We've got the Protect on, making our way around the outside of the island, past the scorpions, past the hobgoblins. I think we avoided the demon, went down to the skeletons. At this point I was psyched, I was pumped up, I was ready to fight the dragon, get the final battle out the way. I went in, started attacking, and immediately got killed. Apparently Elvarg does damage through your prayer, which I didn't realise, and is bad news when you have 10 HP, so it was time to try again. So obviously we had to repair the boat again. That's the only way to get back, because I hadn't unlocked the exit through into the Karamja volcano, is it? Had to go repair the boat again, so I had to get another bunch of nails and planks for my main. If anyone watching this decides to take on the same challenge, or for any other reason do Dragon Slayer with 10 HP, I recommend making plenty of steel nails and grabbing plenty of planks to repair the boat with, because you probably will die a few times and you'll be really annoyed if you have to keep going back to make more nails. Anyway, I studied Elvarg's movements for quite a long time, trying to wait until she was lined up behind the pillar at the back. Went in again and got killed again. So I suited up again, thought maybe third time lucky. Went down through the skeletons and then really took my time this time. You ever play Metal Gear Solid where you just watch the guards' patterns for like like a few minutes to figure out when is going to be a chance to sneak through. So I stood by the door like for quite a long time, watching what was going on, biding my time, studying the dragon's movements.
Eventually.
So I couldn't really work out any pattern, but the best time to go in seems to be when she's lined up behind the top pillar up there, where you can just get her in a straight line and hooked on this. So I started casting my firebolts. I was trying to keep my prayer on, but I was also so worried that she was going to like wander out and then re-attack me and kill me again that I just wanted to keep casting the firebolts. So I didn't really bother to flick my prayer back on. So eventually we defeated the dragon and then immediately got KO'd by skeletons. So if we do a little action replay, we can see that we ended up with 2 quest points, 8 strength levels, which will help towards the 40 that we need to do legends, and 10 defense levels. We ended up with exactly 3050 defense experience, which is exactly what we were expecting from the formulas. So good results. Now we're combat level 30. So 30 combat's where we're going to stay for this episode. That's all the quests that we're doing for now. The reason I have to stop here is because the next quest, which is going to affect our combat stats, is Heroes. So after completing Dragon Slayer, we have 34 quest points, and we need 55, I believe, to begin Heroes quest. We've also got a whole bunch of quests a whole bunch of skills to do before we can attempt heroes. We need 50 something fishing, mining, cooking, and a smithing level 2, I think. I'm not sure. In any case, it would be great if I knew this right now, but anyway, we're just watching a video of me catching my first ever shrimp, which I think has just come up. And then I'm not going to put in too much footage of doing skills because I think it's pretty boring to watch, to be honest, but it makes a bit of filler for the outro. Also starting mining here, get my first few ores. Do this as fast as possible. I'm going to power mine my way up to 50, and then trade over some steel bars, I think, from my main. Well, trade over whatever bars I need to get my mining level up as fast as I can, so that the skilling's not gonna hold us up and delay us here. So what can we expect from the next episode? Well, next episode we need to do Heroes Quest and Scorpion Catcher at the same time, actually, because while we're down in the dungeon we might as well get the Scorpion that's down there by the lava eel, so you definitely see that. But besides that, there's going to be a lot of quest points to get out the way, so if you enjoyed the quest blitz section in this episode, then you're likely to see an even longer section like that next episode as we fly through some of the quests, try and get the quest points out the way to get up to the 55 that we need for Heroes Quest. So I'm quite surprised so far. Everything is going to plan. I'm still at 1000 hits XP. The attack and defense XPs are exactly where we want them to be, exactly where we predicted that they'd be through the formulas that we have available from the wiki, from some other sources. So I think it's going quite well so far. But maybe now that I've said this, I'm going to fuck up like straight after I upload this video. Anyway, I think I've chatted for long enough. You know, I really wish I could do like really fancy titles so we could get like a checklist to come up with the quests that are left to do, where we're up to and what stats we need. But my video editing skills are very limited, so I think it's going to continue to be a Camtasia special for this foreseeable future. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, guys, please like and subscribe, and I'll get the next one out as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. See you next time.